not letting my even inability to explain a why behind what God's word says be attached to my ability to still be obedient to it, my willingness to be obedient, because I'm still a son first. I'm just over 30, and I vividly remember nearly 2/3 of my life drenched, bro, like with the complete opposite of what I'm living right now. I've never seen marriage up close, fatherhood up close, bro. The generational curses, bro, that end with me, bro.
Was Pressure the first record we did together? Just you and I?
Maybe, I think so.
I think it was. And we were experiencing a lot of that. That was art imitating life, right?
Yeah.
We were literally, so this is like peak quarantine. So you lived like right across the street from me, and you would drive over, and we would sit in your car, you would come and sit in my truck, and we would just like.
But didn't Pressure start before that though? Wasn't the seed of, that's what I thought was unique about it, is like, I could be wrong, but I thought that we had the conversation about it. We still linked, we were still in the same area, but we had a conversation about it either the end of 19 or the very, very top of 20.
Maybe.
But no, I'll bring that up because I think it's one thing to the pandemic be the thing that is the pressure, but I think for both of us, there was pressures already buzzing
I see what you're
prior to pandemic, so that was the exasperator.
Because when you were my borrowers coming to your shop, you cut my hair, we were having like real life conversations.
Yes.
I was getting ready to get married.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like picking your brain, like, yo, what? How do you know? What is this? What is like all those questions that, you know, single dudes ask. And it's funny.
They don't all be asking. They need to be asking.
No, that's a
Let's do this. It's a different kind of pressure on me. Never let up.
Never let up.
I lay it down. And then I get up.
Then I get up.
Put that pressure on me. Never let up.
Never let up.
I lay it down.
Yeah.
And then I get up.
Trace, I took shots of my flaws. I was drunk on applause. Hard going through withdrawals. Scars need more than gauze. I'm a husband and a father, yet I've seen neither. Self-worth is at odds when I'm not achieving. Can you repeat it? My mind questions what you achieving, Trace. Sinatra shot me, I did it my way. I was worshiping what I made, not Yahweh. Hung on pride, this could go suicide ways. Look in the mirror, I could kill, son. Picked up the tree, still stumped. Devil like you want them pills, huh? Yeah, I remember your heart caught till police hit ya, let it simmer. Been cooking like Jacob, grateful the Lord with him. The pressure cooker you feeling is cause stomach's aching and you healing. God dealing, hoping every vessel needs fire to hit him. I learned that gym on date night, clay spinning. I'm a king amongst kings and we stay winning. Trying to give black princes tried templates. What's in it for me? Revision of legacy. Boy, we about to see 2021 brought out the best of me. Trace caught a fire, that's the recipe. So bring that pressure
Put
on
that
me.
pressure on.
Never let up.
Never let up.
I lay it down.
I lay it down.
And then I get up.
Then I get up.
Put that pressure.
Put that pressure on.
Never let up.
Never let up.
I lay it down.
I lay it down.
Then I get up.
It's a different kind of pressure on me. Never let up.
I'm just over 30, and I vividly remember nearly 2/3 of my life drenched, bro. Like, with the complete opposite of what I'm living right now. Like, I've never seen marriage up close, fatherhood up close, from my father. It's one thing to observe God showed up in a lot of different ways, but bro, the generational curses, bro, that end with me, bro.
Listen.
My daughter, from my daughter, bro.
Listen.
My God rest my mom's soul, bro. I had the blessed opportunity when cancer, bro, was had removed her inability to speak so she could communicate with her eyes and hands, etc. on her deathbed, bro.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't grow up in church, bro, but my mom, the problem child, had become everything she had hoped and dreamed for herself. She never married herself.
But here she is on her deathbed. She got to see her son get married. Never saw my kids though. And got to, pray prayer of faith with her, bro. But I only bring all that up is because, bro, my daughter will not have the same starting point.
Right.
Like my mom comes from a very broken home where she had to work through a lot of her ideas of self and, how that shows up to family and, using sex as medicine.
Yes.
And so, a kid almost aborted, just everything that comes with me even just being here, bro. My kid, bro, we be at the front row of one church, bro. I'm just being me, the same worshiper I was. I don't know if you ever came through High Praise, bro.
Nah, that was before my time.
Hey, bro, no lie though, because it was Taylor, Pittman, Marlo, Chris, me. It was a lot of us, and it was an authentic. That same worshiper, bro, still shows up in that environment, bro. And I'm watching my kids, bro.
Yeah.
My son, bro, undignified, bro, laid out with his hands up, just doing what we already do at the crib. And my daughter in the same, bro. And I'm great. It's 10 years of staying rooted, bro. Coming face to face with okay, I see why cats walk away. I get it.
Yeah.
But still being nah, but I believe in something greater than my feelings right now. So yeah, bro, 10 years, bro. People still looking at me I still run into some homies that they know streets the beast, bro.
Yeah.
And they still look at me with the this nigga brand new.
This you?
All right. I lost some people because we failed to communicate all our needs and wants. My wife said I act like I don't need enough. I used to pray crazy when I needed stuff. I used to pray like my knees were stuck, arms high like a toddler reaching for something. My silence screams, don't need a sign. God designs my dreams. I play hide and seek with my line of thinking. I done seen a lot of things that honestly refines my reasons. My bucket list is to die without a secret.
Tell me a bit more about where that part of your verse came from.
Okay, so you're telling me you want me to answer the question about what part came from, not being able to communicate, how I start the verse?
Yeah, well, yeah, I know what that bar means to me when I listen to it, but I'm curious what was behind that part of the verse, not being able to communicate your needs and wants. What?
Well, if I'm all the way honest, that's about a specific relationship dying, a very close relationship dying, simply because neither one of us didn't communicate where we were, what we needed, what hurt our feelings at a much lower level, and we let it get out of control. So by the time we fall out, what we're falling out about isn't really what we're falling out about. It's just the catalyst for all of the other things that were not communicated. So the original version of that bar is way more direct, and I just decided to change it and make it a little more broad, if I'm all the way honest.
Probably was wise.
But failing, communicate. People talk about that all the time. Since we're on the subject of marriage, but this applies to all relationships. Period. You have to communicate where you are, what you have capacity for. Needs and wants. What do I want this relationship to be? And the other person now has the opportunity to say, yes, I can meet that need for you. No, I cannot, or I can meet it up until this point. This is what I have capacity for. And for us, as we get older, our capacity, because we're so family oriented, they get the lion's share of my energy. So when I do engage in, when I do go out of my way to interact and develop my interpersonal relationships, that's always in mind. Okay, what do I need out of, or what does Terrell need from me, and then what can I give him as his friend? If I care about him and love him enough to a certain degree, I think that the expectations are not crazy. So you're asking me, hey, Armand, I need this right now. And you're already taking into account like, yo, he got X, Y, and Z going on just like I got X, Y, and Z going on. So very rarely as you get older are the things that you communicate and need from your community, they're usually not unrealistic. Usually our wives get the most unrealistic expectations from us, you know what I'm saying? So so as I'm rapping through that verse, I lost some people because we failed to communicate all our needs and wants. My wife says I act like I don't need enough. I used to pray crazy when I needed stuff. I used to pray like my knees were stuck, arms high like a toddler reaching for something. My silence screams. That's the culmination of that. So now my wife sees me as someone who is not communicative. I'm not communicating my needs and wants. I've lost relationships because of that. I used to communicate with the Father all the time. My posture and position of prayer was I was very confident in that, very much so. And, now I'm not doing that at all, and I'm silent, and I'm screaming. When someone is screaming, that typically means that they're in pain, they're in danger, something is not being met. And even the next part, like even to say, I don't need a sign, like that's almost saying, and it says multiple things, but one of the things that it says, it's a front, and it says, yo, hey God, I don't need you to show up. I don't need you to show up and talk to me because I feel a way that you're not communicating with me. Like, don't talk to me because I'm mad that you're not. You know what I'm saying? But that's the posture that many people take. It's like, well, talk to me because you want to talk to me. Don't talk to me because I have to throw a tantrum to get your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so layered in the writing and so layered in how unhealthy our communication is. Even just writing that and rehashing it's like, God, I still got some more work to do. You know what I'm saying? To be a rapper, to be a writer, to be someone who is known for communicating well, to be like, I'm communicating that I don't communicate well. Crazy.
Very well.
Very, very well. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
One more hookah for the Uber scoopers. 101 Mark White, help consider Ruger. Well connected when I step in. Dap the trooper and the booster. City official, chuck the deuce up. Peace. 270, tear the loop up. Heaven cried tears when they wet my coupe up. God's grace gone, Bradley Cooper. Limitless, back it up to Genesis. East Haven, Chaz basement, lost my innocence. Bodies in Britnell, you see a nemesis. Heart overwhelmed, mind clueless. If I see one more black divorce, I'ma lose it.
You know, for you on the other hand, what I love is, we talk about authenticity, and I think you show up and you start your verse very authentically in another sense. So you literally say like, yo, when I step into a room, I'm able to interact with many different walks of life and still show up as me. And everybody who knows you knows how eclectic you are, how unique you are. And I think the thing that people appreciate, I appreciate it, is that it's not performative. So men in particular, our presentation is so performative. We want to show up in a certain way because we want this person to look at us this way and this woman's attention and whatever. And as long as I've known you, you've always just been like, nah, it's just me. I'm wild, I'm different, I like this stuff, I'm off the beaten path, and I'm okay with that. And so I would love to know like what your experience has been getting to that point of comfort, because it's very easy to assimilate. Especially being a black man, we're almost like beaten into assimilation. But you decide that you're not gonna do that. You know, what has your journey been like with that, and then what are the benefits and drawbacks that you've seen from that?
I think there are three, that's a good question. There are three environments that trained me, bro. One was being a black guy in predominant white churches.
Another was being a black minority in predominantly white corporate settings. And then the other is being just a funny barber kid placed in the streets and having to acquiesce to that. So one, I think in those three dynamics, I'll start with that. As a kid, bro, just growing up in the environment, I'm grateful I was a barber, dude, because I vividly remember, like, that has single-handedly, even over 2 decades, been the tool that has sat me in front of the most diverse range of people. Like, starting in the trap house, like, I was cool and developed the ability to have real-life convo with cats who on the other side of the tracks, per se, because I was their barber. So they, like, even the level of vulnerability that most people say black men do not have, to some degree I have a different view, because a lot of black men are vulnerable with me in ways that they aren't with their girl, 100%. With their mama, their dad, but it's always been that way. So I've had the way to connect in that environment. Then, learning how to discern, like perfecting the survival skill, really, of surveying a room and observing what everyone needs into it. You know, in those environments, that's often was a requirement to advance or just not be a target yourself.
That's right. Yep.
So I take that, and then I'm going into the corporate environment, bro. And that's where I felt the most pressure. And if I'm honest, there was a bit of self-surrender that I think it was healthy, because it was training. It's like iron sharpening iron. Like, I submitted to the buffeting process so it could polish me, because, I'm not naturally a rule follower. I am the thermostat. Y'all can be the thermometer. I'm gonna come in here and set the tone. And in the corporate space, being able to step into an environment and I'm confident, but then you see the reaction of everyone, and you have to make the decision, like, am I going to acquiesce, or am I going to create a new definition in their mind on what the black experience is? And I've historically chose the latter, where, like, I got the blue hair. Bro, this ain't new, bro. Like, this almost a decade, in Fortune 100 banks, like, leading teams, managing teams, making a decision. I'm gonna have my colorful hair, I'm wearing my purple suits. I just had to overcompensate in the other areas where, like, I'm gonna show up the most prepared. I read 50 books a year for like 5 years straight. So I can feel away how I feel about his hair and his outfit, but when that boy get to talking, so I think I had to learn to embrace not just I'm valuable because God created me, but it's like, nah, bro, I had to go earn my own respect, bro. Like, I know what all the Fridays I wasn't out partying, all the weekends I was at the crib reading, taking a course, a certification, bro, tripping up over a deal, like just R&D on my own business. To be able to show up confidently as myself in the street environment proved to be true. In the corporate space, people respect it. And then in the church space, bro, I had a unique opportunity to be in a predominantly black church that merged with a predominant white church. So I got to see a front row seat to, man, the stories.
A lot, yeah.
But it added another layer of my ability to connect at the city council level. You know what I'm saying? The golf club, the streets, and everything in between. Because, like, I felt it important for individuals that feel like, you want to help the inner city youth. I'm him, bro.
Right.
I would be doing because people meet me now, bro, and they can't fathom the person that I was. Like, they can't, like I was saying, like, take it back to the Genesis, bro. Chaz's basement, who I was walking through East Haven, some of them cats, bro, following my Facebook, like, who is this nigga?
Yeah.
Waiting for it to be fake, bro, but it ain't, bro. It's a decade. He really a different human being. Something happened, bro.
Yeah.
People that like I said, they meet me in the past 5 years. They met me at the salon. They met me at one church and like, oh man, a very bold, dynamic black guy. Man. But bro, he come with something. He come with, and I owe it to the young, single-digit, young teenage that sees me in position. I owe it to them to be the authentic version of that, because it doesn't matter then to them if I'm in position but I'm not authentically me.
Right.
Because then they are still not represented.
That's right.
You know, I was at the Columbus Urban League summer program, man, a few hundred high school students, and affirming the misfits, bro. Affirming that I know there's people in that room, there's people watching this clip, bro, that they did not fit into the square that their entire K through 12 tried to put them through.
Yeah.
Like your whole, I'm sorry you didn't pass this test.
Right.
You didn't just naturally assimilate, and we made you feel like a predator, putting you in detention versus you need to be developing others.
Right.
Like, nah, bro, I'm getting paid to be a disruptor now. But they would send it, they ain't gonna put me in detention for being a disruptor back then. They didn't know how to.
Prescribing you medication.
Bro, don't get me charted up on that.
Yeah.
But, so again, I say my ability to show up now 100% myself has been those experiences, but at the base of all that, bro, is a firm confidence that I am affirmed by God, bro. That if all y'all turn on me, I know for a fact the person I'm being right now is who God made me to be. Like, now he might be like, nah, usually he has some blind spots.
Yeah.
But it was an authentic play of who I am at the time.
Yeah, those blind spots don't cause you to just completely change your appearance, change, you know what I'm saying? Like, those blind spots don't cause a 180 in order to be fixed in just who you are authentically.
It's usually motive for me. Like, why are you being bold?
Yes. That's where the performative stuff comes in, absolutely.
Yeah, and I have to manage that, bro, because that's a real thing. I really had to overcome being abandoned physically by my dad, but then just emotionally by my mom. So I'm in the environment, but not feeling approved there, going into the world needing approval instead of showing up approved. Like, I'm still working through that, bro. So I think a lot of that showed up in that verse, bro, because, you know, I talked about my mom being in the grave, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of these realizations that I'm having as a husband and a dad is after I can't go back and clarify it with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get to have the empathetic, like, dang, you know what, Mom? I finally get it. I see what you know, it's like I have to bury a lot of that with her, you know, so.
Take care of me. I've learned to risk carefully, cause I was moving carelessly, pouring kerosene on my character. I was scared to speak. I didn't know leaders could ask for help. That was rare for me. Around the time that I had wrote Scared of Me, my pastor was grooming me as the heir to be. Peeling back the layers reveal more dirt. Plus I ain't wanna leave no church. Some people that see you for who they want you to be, and if you reject it, then they'll tell you not to run from your dreams, but they sleep. Too much accountability. Why have you given passes to folks that need to know they're in the wrong? Make sure your math works. Just know if my skeletons get exposed, I'm still a part of the body. It don't work without the bones. I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, some people will see you for who they want you to be. And then if you reject it, then they'll tell you not to run from your dreams. Like they will.
They sleep.
They sleep because they don't even know who you are. They think they know who you are because they see a microcosm of something that is redeemable, and they say, okay, that's who he is. Boom, boom, and then it goes into that box that you were talking about. And then if you don't fit in that box, then it's like, stop running. You know what I'm saying? When it's like, you know, this this term that has really come up in the last few years in terms of creatives, what they call them like multi-hyphenate, right? I just saw an interview with Kevin Hart was talking about that, just being a multi-hyphenate. And like, you can't be a multi-hyphenate in a box. I don't think you can be a multi-hyphenate without the experiences that we have. You talking about, you know, you in your basement, or you in your friend's basement, going crazy, doing all this stuff, right? Even the way that I end my verse when I say like, yo, you know, just know if my skeletons get exposed, I'm still a part of the body. It don't work without the bones. Like, being affirmed by God hits different when you experience rejection for being who you are.
I think that's critical, bro. I actually think like God desires that truth on the inward part, you know, not the projected image. It's the real one, bro. And God can truly work. I've been sharing my testimony in the faith a lot recently, bro, but it's a reminder. I had to remind myself where God met me. Like, cause I was questioning some of the mess I'm in now, and he like, bro, you remember where I found you?
Yeah,
Like, hold up. Don't forget, bro, I know how to get these sleeves dirty, bro. Like, God found me in the trenches, bro. And his grace was enough then, bro. And it's almost blasphemous to, I'm like processing this now like that, to suggest that on the other side of him already making a very calculated decision, like, nah, Armand is mine, bro.
yeah.
And I know exactly how much that his balance will be. I'm gonna write the check now. And to get to a point where that is handed to me freely, nothing I can do to earn it. And then at some point, somehow my performance is about to make it close. Like, oh man, I'm catching up to his grace. My shortcomings, like I'm bridging the gap. Is he going to, that honestly, like that is me wrestling with, am I truly a son?
Yeah.
Like that is me, am I have really embraced, there's nothing that I could do for him to take back his last name from me.
Yeah.
That's the freedom, bro. My son be wildin', bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And then right after he wildin' and I discipline him, can I play game Sam?
Yeah. He come right back like
the son. And I think that's the display when he's talking about like Christ, like, bro, you need to be like these kids, bro. Like an absolute short memory, even on shortcomings. Cause it's like, that is the display of faith. Like he called me not because I'm the one, it's cause, you know how I was holding your daughter? Like, you the one, you ain't even did nothing, you the one. So you know.
Even through trials, my life is perfectly orchestrated. Grateful young Tina ain't abort the baby. Since a rascal throwing jabs, drums aching. Even classic straight jacket, the flow crazy. Going in on Dilla's song is bold, ain't it? Going strong, this song is kinda long, ain't it? Oftentimes people's opinions are overstated. Being moved by how they rate you is overrated. Some stuck in their ways, 2 feet under pavement. So when you bring change, know they gon' hate it. I'm Trace, one of one, please don't trace me. 1, cause you will never be able to duplicate me. And 2, the slot meant for you will be left vacant. Don't get caught up on my last statement, missing the fact that your own lane is wide open for the taking. Fast break layup thinking about me like I'm somebody famous, man. I'm not even trying to be the greatest. I just love composing symphonies, instruments be the English language. Frame and hang what I say like Picasso paintings, yeah. But I am not Picasso, baby. But I am the third Carter. Heads gon' think I'm crazy, just trying to make the cut like a good barber.
It's so easy to get caught up in like our titles and our roles. And you know, you talked about, you specifically said in your song, like, yo, like one more, essentially to paraphrase, like, you know, how we as black men consistently act like things don't hurt us, don't bother us, don't affect us. Talk to me a little bit about like your relationship with yourself and how that has grown over the last however long, 10 years of your marriage, even just 3 years, because everything has changed so much. Where do you think you stand at emotionally, relationally with yourself, and how you see yourself, value yourself, like all of those things, outside of stripping away all of your roles? Because it's really easy to get back into your dad role, your husband role, your leader role, how you are at work, you know, get into different bags and stuff like that. But like you, Trace Carter, Terrell Carter, like, how is your relationship with yourself today? Holistically.
That's a good question. It's a deep question. It's going back to being a son. I know that you say removing all the titles, but I think when you do remove all the titles, what is left is son. And I think that informs how my relationship with myself, the most healthiest I've ever been in my emotional well-being, is now, because I have been aware. I've spent a lot of time and dollars becoming more self-aware. Like therapy just makes me very accurate at self-awareness. Like I know when I'm wilding. I know the triggers, like, because I've spent time analyzing my actions, analyzing historical experiences. So I think that informs it. Like a part of me treating myself better is, bro, you gotta take a lap around the house and find where the cracks, like you gotta analyze it, like, because otherwise stuff just be going dormant. So becoming self-aware through therapy emotionally, and fighting to bring that honesty back to the square, you know, because, you know, my relationship with self and now is like I've had to stand at the grave of my expectations on a lot of different things, and walk in a new, you know, after you bury something that you thought would live forever, you know, or an idea that you thought would be yours, you know, I've had many iterations of that, and even of self. And you know, it takes a lot of courage, bro, to look in the mirror and be able to be redefined, get new marching orders from God, bro. Like, I've been in the banking, I've been in hair, I've been in projects, and now I'm at Science Center and been working at a church, you know. So for serving myself outside of becoming more self-aware, becoming more skilled, fighting to be more honest with my most intimate relationships, honestly, I think one of the biggest steps that I have to take to become better to myself in all that is I recently put on my social media, like, bro, I really am a social media fiend, bro. Like, and like, when I really look at addiction, like, and study what it is, like, I'm literally addicted to this thing. Yeah. And coupled with how it's so intertwined with my definition of self. So for me, man, now is taking the steps. Like, that's ultimately for men. I feel like often we go to the Invest Fest, we watch the conference, we take the course, we get the information or the insight, like, ooh, that's the thing that gotta change. But then that's where it be stopping, like, well, dang, well. Bro, but to You know, when I read the scriptures, like when Christ is like, yo, if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It's like, that's very strong language. And the application that I take away is like, when there is clearly something that is a barrier to becoming and doing who God wants you to be, bro, it's got to be cut, bro.
It's got to go.
And social media is such it's not unto itself a bad thing, although that can be debated. But like I literally feel the most at peace and less stress when I'm not on it. So for me, bro, I'm about to go on my 10th wedding anniversary, bro.
Yeah.
And I might take the flip phone.
Listen.
But man, I feel like because it's like the fourth quarter, you know, when you go in a high tense NBA game, it's close, and you sit the stars like early fourth, because you know we're gonna need you down.
Yep.
Even though it's been a crazy full 3 quarters, like this coming season, this coming stretch as emerging tech is where God really has me. Like a lot of my ability to connect dots that are ambiguous, like to look around the corner, VR, AI, how that impacts to business, but also leveraging my skill to make these advancements palatable and applicable to the church and the Black community, my people that look like me that, you know, just haven't had as much exposure. So I'm realizing the weight of that, and trying to stay healthy. Got 2 counselors. Yeah, one for me and a shared counselor for me and my wife, and then one by myself. And we got a mentor couple. Like, people think I'm joking when I say my marriage is divorce proof, bro. But I genuinely have resolved in that's a whole nother topic we'll come back to. But the intentionality of, it's like, what's the most protected building in the U.S.? Is it the bunker at the U.S.? Like, you know how like they like are intentional. Ain't nobody getting in this. I'm realizing like off marriage and its security thereof is how intentional are you at really locking down the fortress, bro. So I'm trying to do that for me, for myself, and not let my issues break the system, but trying to be honest and create space. That's why I appreciate you, bro, for an amalgam of different ways through events, like what we did at Odella's, to the community talks you facilitate, to moments like this, you know, like.
Yeah, I gotta get back in my bag. I've been chilling, like super chilling.
Even resting.
Yeah, sure, resting. Yeah, a lot of, same with you, just a lot of like work, just a lot of interpersonal work, and I feel this like overwhelming burden to do something. I don't know what that is, but I know it's time for me to get off the bench. You talking about, I've definitely been low on my load management. I ain't played 3 quarters. I've been out for about 3 or 4 games.
It's fair.
Personal reasons, like Armand, wake up out, personal, like, but.
Hey, bro, personal time is fine.
Hey, man, listen. So I appreciate you because you're always someone, you know, I've told you this a million times, like your ability to just like see something from a seed all the way to like the complete garden and know where each individual tree and bush and, you know, garden and everything is, it's just unparalleled. Like the way that your brain works, the way that your mind processes things and sees opportunities to grow and to push and challenge and facilitate and delegate and all of those things. Like, man, it's clearly God-given, because there's just always fruit what I'm saying? Like, even if the thing doesn't come to pass the way that you saw it, there's still some fruit somewhere. So, you know, I always tell people, like, yo, everybody needs a Trace Carter on their team. If you can't get him directly,
Everybody needs a Trace Carter.
is like there has to be somebody somewhere who functions like you in some way or capacity,
Hey,
because it's
now.
only a help.
That's a tall order there, buddy. That boy 101 now. Come on, man. Don't be putting that pressure on cats.
Hey, man, never let up.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, dog. For real.
Yeah.
Man, one more thing before we go. What's your final word?
Nah, man, I'm done. I'm good.